I'm here with Jess Paulo in Team Sanda. He recently won the cage conflict welterweight belt against Cameron Clements. How are you today, and how did you find the fight going? It was a very good fight, and how did it feel lifting the belt at the end of it?
Well, I'm good. Thanks for asking. Thanks for coming down as well, also for the interview. It was a good fight. It was a tough fight. I knew from the get-go that'd be a tough fight. I mean, yeah, you only have to watch Cameron to know that he's a tough competitor. Really likes to suffocate his opponents. He has that strong grappling style, heavy on the wrestling. I've been kind of watching him more. He caught my eye about a year ago, and I just knew for some reason that okay, he's on his way to the top of the division. Hopefully, I'm on my way to the top of my division. So I knew we were going to fight eventually, and that ended up happening. It got made the week I was meant to fight on Premier. So what was that? 3 weeks notice. I mean, it's not really no bother to me anyways. I'm used to staying active anyway. So yeah, I knew that we'd fight eventually, and ended up being for the cage conflict belt, which is good. Higher stakes, higher reward, and yeah, the fight. I mean, in terms of game plan and whatnot, I didn't really have a game plan because I like to think that I'm comfortable wherever the fight goes, standing up or on the bottom, and I feel like I did showcase that, especially in that fight to begin with. But yeah, I knew that obviously he'd be looking for the grappling exchanges, this is that, and by all means, I have no problem welcoming that. You can see yourself, he kind of goes in to get the body lock on me, and I'm going for the kind of judo throw. In the first round, it messed up on me because I kept going with the throw, and then he ended up getting like a really easy sweep, and then I ended up on my back for more or less the most of the round, apart from like maybe the last 20, 30 seconds. But yeah, I was calm. I knew that okay, yeah, he was able to turn me. He had good top pressure. It was his best round, like the first round fresh. So I was like, don't panic, don't give up the neck for the rear naked choke. Defend yourself intelligently for the strikes, and yeah, next round we go again, and that's exactly what happened. Coming out for the second round, I think I threw maybe a calf kick, and then it was kind of just feeling each other out on the feet, and then I threw like a 1-2, and he ducked under the 2, went in for the takedown. I got a nice heavy sprawl on the way back up. I went in with the throw, and I got it correctly this time. And then yeah, I just kind of had him on top for the rest of the round. Actually, no, I didn't. Towards maybe the last minute, 40 seconds, I kind of had his neck in kind of like a guillotine position. He was able to just drive forward, and I ended up on my back for like the last 30, 40 seconds, but wasn't really much bother to me, to be honest. I knew that I won that. I don't know how I knew, but for some reason I knew that that round was mine anyways. And then obviously we came out for the last round with it being 1-1. Winner winner takes it, and yeah, I could see that he was looking a bit fatigued over in his corner. I mean, not saying I wasn't fatigued as well, but I felt worse. I've had fights where I felt worse, and yeah, went in with the calf kick. I noticed that the commentators watching the back, they thought that I was tired, kind of maybe I was a bit laxy-daisy, but I wasn't. I was fresh. Threw the calf kick, threw a nice front kick that landed, and then that made him shoot. Got a nice sprawl on that, and then from there, kind of just maintained the top position for the rest of the round. It was in his guard, just staying heavy, suffocating him, pulling my hand over his mouth. That's perfectly legal. Putting the hand over the mouth to suffocate the breathing, stuff like that. Just staying heavy, letting off the strikes as well. Keep busy for the referee so he doesn't stand us back up. And yeah, that's how the rest of that round played off. And yeah, I was able to show as well that I can out grapple the grappler. People thought that I was probably going to be wrestle fucked to bits or this or that, and I proved the exact opposite. Standing on the ground, I can go wherever the fight goes.
It's quite impressive performance. I watched it from home. Obviously, I didn't get to see it in person. How did it feel when you got the belt? You got to got your hand raised. Like, tell us what that feeling is like in a place like the Devonish, which tell us what that atmosphere is like as well.
It was a nice atmosphere. I mean, when I was coming out, there was a few boos and all, probably because I was the away fighter. I didn't really give a rat's, to be honest. I had kids there that were talking to me in the toilet before saying, yeah, when you're on the way to the cage, could you shake a hand? I was like, yeah, of course, why wouldn't I? So, no, I didn't really pay attention to the boos or anything like that. Doesn't get to me, to be honest. But yeah, no, it was a good venue. It's a good show. Cage Conflict is a really good show. People that fight on there, they've gone very far places later on in their career. So I'm happy to be a part of that history and be one of their champions. But no, yeah, it was a good fight. Getting the belt, it just felt like it was just something to tick off the list. After hours and hours and hours and weeks and months of work, it's just something to finally just, okay, that's one thing out of the way, onto the next, defending it, getting other belts. That's just a feeling of just, okay, that's finally done and out of the way. Just, yeah.
And when you look at yourself where you are here, because we've chatted before, you actually have no background in any combats? And then, how long ago did you start MMA?
I started MMA during the lockdown. I'd say October 2020. That'd be the time I started. I started off with just a bit of sparring with one of Blaze out. He fights out of KF now, or trains out of KF, should I say? But yeah, just doing a few bits with him, sparring up in the. He lives in Tala, so we used to go into the SPG 24 gym and just pay tenner and just on the mats do a bit of movements around, or even just do some of the evening classes they had there as well. And then eventually, I went to go sign up for the Jiu-Jitsu Club Beyond down in Balbriggan. Just same again, mostly MMA sparring, obviously a bit of Jits as well, and then yeah, just training away, training away, training away. In terms of the combat, the background in combat sports, no, there was nothing. That was it from the get-go. I grew up playing football, so yeah.
Then what made you go into it? That's what fascinates me. What made you go into it? And
I
then,
just, from playing the UFC games and then eventually watching the events, then you watch stuff like Conor and so. It's just, yeah, it's just motivation and just like, okay, they can do it, why can't I do it? You get me? Obviously, they'd be doing it for longer with the background and stuff, but I'm just like, I like to think I'm fairly athletic enough. I was decent, nothing crazy at football, decent, like, wouldn't be professional or anything, but like, yeah, like, I was decent in terms of athleticism, so, and you can see that carries over into the MMA, because the things I've done in the amount of time I've done it with the experience that I have, like, not many people at all can say that, so, I mean, I'm a year fighting now, just over a year fighting. I'd like to think that I'm top 10 welterweights in the country, top 20 in the UK and Ireland. I mean, how many people can say that
yeah, no,
in the amount of time?
that's actually like crazy when you think about it, and it just shows to go the athleticism. Once you have that and you have the right mindset, once you start training someone and you have someone like Darren
Yeah,
coaching you,
definitely.
how far you can go.
Definitely that plays a big part towards. I mean, you can only see I'm 4-1 with Sanda now, and like I said, no easy fights. Every opponent has been a tough fight. Definitely keep me thinking at night. Sometimes I wish that Darren would give me an easy fight, but I mean, yeah, definitely no easy fights. Every fight has been tough, and for me to be doing what I'm doing, it definitely is a big statement to me, big statement to my teammates, my coaches, everyone around me, my circle. And it only gets better from here. It's only goes up from here. So excited to see where things go in the next year or two.
Yeah, so I'm glad I'm after catching you at this stage, like Aaron, like I said, and I can watch your career progress. I think this is more exciting to me watching the likes of you guys than the UFC guys, because they have this following where I get to see this person, and then when you're in a certain place, I go, I sat down with him.
We know each other. This is that. It's not you trying to get an autograph for this. Nah, definitely.
I want to talk about your first fight just briefly as well.
Yeah.
You went in against Jordan Fury. Like, how was that going into that fight for your first fight? Was that not a bit nerve-wracking?
No, not really, because I didn't know he was as good as he was. So that if I knew like of him today back then it probably wouldn't have even ended up fighting him. But actually, no, I would have. But maybe coaches or whatever would have said nah. But no, I mean, took it on. I think it was about 2 weeks' notice. I just wanted to fight like that. So I didn't really care who it was against, what it was for. I just wanted to fight. Cut loads of weight doing it. It was at a catch weight, 73.5 kg. So yeah, I had G. Anderson got me ready for that fight. He played a big role in the start of my MMA career for sure, and I appreciate him doing that for me. But yeah, it was like I said, I didn't know what I was going. I didn't know what I was walking into for that fight. Definitely, fighting alone is a crazy thing, but like especially your first time doing it, and then against someone like him, you're like, okay. You have all the things in your head, oh yeah, I'm going to throw this, I'm going to throw that. Then you get in there and it's just the complete opposite. That's literally especially for your first time, everything just goes out the window. Your brain is just in meltdown. But I mean, it was tough. Could have been worse. It got stopped. There was like 3 seconds left at the end of the second round, that is alone is a big testament, because his fights, you see him, he's finishing, he's one and done, like, and that's against boys that are like, you get me fighting a long time. That was my first fight, and for me to drag it out as long as I did, that's a testament to myself. I'm proud of. Don't want to say I'm proud of losing, but like the way the fight went, like he's battered people worse. Like
your performance for your first fight, because he looks like he hits like a truck.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah.
And then you fought Nathan, who's a very good grappler.
Yeah, very good.
So like your first 2 fights, you're not getting any easy.
That's
fights.
I'm not coming up against someone who like has my type of experience level. They're just starting off. Now I'm fighting people who have been at it for a long time from the get go. I mean, Can't really complain. Have some people learn the easy way, some people learn the hard way, and I learned the hard way. And I mean, it's made me into who I am today. So all I can do is be grateful and thankful. Everyone has different experiences that shape them into the person that they are. So that's my experiences, and that's because of that. That's who I am today. And yeah, I can only be grateful for that. Look at where I am now.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like going to that, you went on a bit of a tear. Then obviously you came to Sanda. You went in, like you said, you're 4-1, and then again your only other loss is Conor McCarthy,
Yeah,
who is
who's another?
also
Yeah,
very good.
yeah, yeah.
I'll just kind of get you to recap and the same questions I kind of asked. So, like, what would be your favorite fight you've had? Like, whether it be back and forth or just your favorite performance?
My favorite fight would probably be my fight with Bradley Royce at Clan Wars last December. Probably just because it was my first win and the way I did it as well. I mean, I won all 3 rounds, nice 30-27 victory. But yeah, I controlled him well in the grappling department. He more than likely he had my number in terms of striking, but I was only training with Darren and the lads for like what was it even a month and a bit before that fight. So I feel like it was a big turnaround from my fight against Nathan to my fight against Bradley. The performances are just, in contrast, it's just two completely different fighters whatsoever. And I mean, for me to put on a performance like that in such a short time training with these lads, it only showed where I was going. And the next few fights after that, I mean, it was kind of set in stone that, yeah, okay, just on the horizon, yeah.
Perfect. And what fight do you think you learned from the most? Again, it doesn't have to be one of your losses either. It could be like something that you had to change mid-fight. What fight do you think you've learned from the most?
Learn from the most. Two. It's going to be the Conor fight and the Cameron fight. The Conor fight because after the weigh-in, I kind of messed up my recovery a little bit, and then I had really bad, like I couldn't keep any food down on the toilet for the whole night, even the next day, even before the fight, like 10, 15 minutes during the warm-up, I'm taking breaks to go to the toilet. Oh, it was horrible, back and forth. Darren's there looking at me like, but I mean, made the walk anyways, no excuses for how the fight went or whatever. The better man won on the day, is what it is. Well done to him, and I have great respect for Conor. He's a really good competitor, great fighter, even better guy. So yeah, no, it went how it went. If we meet each other again, if not, I don't really care about it, to be honest. On to the next one. And then the one with Cameron, I feel like that was a turning stone for me in terms of things mentally, because I'm sure you know, like fighting, a lot of it is in your head, not just fight IQ, but just mentally digging deep, you know, saying, okay, I'm already tired, but like I have 2 rounds left or 1 round left, like I can't just quit now, like I have to keep going. I feel like the Cameron fight, mentally, I was stronger than him in that fight. I feel like he broke from the end of the first round. The first round, he was looking even though he spent most of the round on top and he was like controlling. I felt like, I don't want to say he was using more energy keeping me down, but like I was on the bottom, I was fairly relaxed. I was like, okay, this is happening now, but the round's gonna end soon, and yeah, back to the basics from there. So yeah, I feel like that Cameron fight, definitely mentally, I found myself, especially for the last round, where I'd usually, when I make it to the third round of a fight, I'm usually my cardio isn't the best, something I'm still working on. I don't really like running or anything like that. Don't really get on with the gym, but it's a work in progress. But yeah, for the last round coming out, I was like, I wasn't feeling the usual things. I felt I wasn't really feeling too fatigued, anything like that. I was like, okay, like this is my round. Like this is the last round. Who wants it? And I want it. And yeah, definitely, that fight was a big turning stone for me in terms of the mental aspect of the sport.
And what do you think brought on that change in the mental aspect? Was it something you done different, or was it just through experience?
Experience, definitely, but along with that, I wasn't thinking too much about the fight at all. I mean, usually when I'm in camp or whatever, a few weeks leading up to a fight, I'm there watching fight videos, trying to teach myself this, trying to teach myself that, trying to watch my opponent and analyze what to do. This is just over analyzing and just thinking too much. This fight, I don't think I watched any of Cameron's fights until the night before we fought, just to give my brain like a quick kind of refresh, just to let me know what I'm expecting when I get in there. But no, I wasn't thinking about the fight whatsoever. I was just living my life normally. I was just banging out the PlayStation, playing FIFA, like just living life normally. I wasn't, and I noticed that that's kind of, that works for me. That's the way I'm gonna go carry on forward, not thinking too much about the fight, because obviously when you start overthinking, you start getting into your head, oh, what if this happens, what if this doesn't happen, this is that. So yeah, I feel like that's what works best for me, just not overthinking, just going about my day normally and switching on when you have to find that switch right before you get into the cage, or even during the warm-up, even in the back. But yeah, that's what works for me.
Yeah, because obviously if you're overthinking, you're going into the fight, you might start having
That's how you
doubts
freeze. That's how you freeze up. That's how you freeze up. You're like, what do I try? What do I like? You just that, and it's happened to me before, like plenty of times. So, I feel like this approach now works best for me.
Perfect. I'm going to ask you 2 or 3 more questions, and then I'm going to ask you 1 or 2 more questions. So the IMAS, obviously, Armin's been there. Is it something you'd like to do? Is it something that interests you, or would you like to just keep fighting on the regional
Not
scene?
really, to be honest. Just cause like my just like the way the same day weighing all that type of jazz, and then you have to stay on. I don't think it's something that I don't think it's something that's for me. Cause my weight is I can walk around between like 82 to 84 kilos. So like, would I fight middleweight? Would I fight well? Probably wouldn't fight welterweight 77. That'd be too much of a cut for the same day. But and then you're fighting middleweight, and then it's just what is that? Be more. I mean, I have the length, but like the frame and the physicality. So it's like it's a bit of a gray area for me. I'm not really too pressed on it, to be honest. I just as long as the fights keep rolling on, and especially the competing on the grappling scene as well, I'm more than content with that.
Yeah, and then as well, like I think the IMAS is a great experience because you get different bodies and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
I
definitely.
think it's strange though that with the same day weigh-ins, because it's not really preparing you for a pro
Yeah,
scenario.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and then especially like if I don't know, I'm not too sure on how it works, but like if you're fighting one day and then if you're fighting the next day again, I don't know if you have to weigh in the next day
Yeah,
again
you
or
do.
yeah, like that's nah, it's
So
not.
then, if
Yeah,
you're
even what you're eating, like is you can't even eat that much. Like I don't know how other people do it, but for me, it's just nah. It's not something that I really. I'm more than happy just fighting amateur in the country, maybe even a few fights over in England or something, and competing on the grappling scene. That's more than I'm content with.
Yeah, I think it was Nathan Kelly who we talked to recently said he lived on sushi for the week.
Yeah,
It's
like
all he was able to eat. So it is, and then it's if just say if you're there with Armand, let's say, or whatever whoever's representing, and then you get knocked out, then they're eating all the good food beside you.
yeah,
So
it's just
it
nah.
wouldn't be
Yeah,
like
nah,
so then.
nah whatsoever.
Going forward, we know you've got Clan Wars, and then we presume you're going to be defending your belt. We're not looking for any names here, but that's the plan going forward.
Yeah,
Another
hopefully,
two
yeah,
months.
yeah, definitely. That'll be another 3 week turnaround for me. No, I'm not used to anyways, but yeah, it's gonna be a busy September/October for me anyways.
So you've 2 fights booked. Are you looking to get more before the end of the year, or do you think that's going to end it for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. After Cage Conflict, there should at least be one more before the end of the year, and then also I want to get back competing on the grappling scene. I'm trying to reach 50 wins for the end of the year. I'm currently on 23, so I need 27 more. I mean, the IBJJFs are over in Italy in November. Maybe I might fly over for that. Just got promoted to blue belt, so do a bit of no-gi. The gi isn't, nah, not my style at all. So yeah, I'm trying to stay active grappling wise as well and hit that landmark 50. Just doesn't mean anything. Just for myself, like just to say, okay, yeah. In my first full year of competing, I was able to hit 50 wins and rack up a nice few medals. So yeah, definitely, I think I like compete. No, I think I know I like competing more in grappling than I do in MMA because I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know why I like it so much because I used to hate at the start. Obviously, when you're starting off, you don't care about all the jiu-jitsu. You just want to
Yeah.
spar, do this and that. But then, as you kind of evolve in the sport and you go on to learn the importance of grappling, then, well, with me anyways, I just fell in love with it, and especially competing in grappling. I love it. There's nothing that comes close to it for me.
You know, it's like a high level game of chess or
Yeah,
something like that, isn't it?
li-
One small move
yeah.
can then gone. You
Literally, one
choked out.
second you're on top, 1 second you're on bottom. That's literally everything is calculated. Everything is trying to stay a step ahead of your opponent. Literally, that's what I love it. It's mental chess. That's what it is.
Perfect, thank you. So one more question: what would you like people to remember you by when your career is all said and done, or what would you like people to say about you? Could be either as a fighter or as a person.
I mean, I like to think that I'm a nice person. I get along with everyone. I'm not really rude or disrespectful or this, that. Just, yeah, I'm really nonchalant person. Like, I really couldn't be arsed. As a fighter, just a good fighter. That's all I can ask for, you know. Well, another thing as well is just well-rounded, kind of like a John Jones type. You see John Jones, not the best striker, but he holds his own. He's creative on the feet. He'll use that to set up his grappling, exchange his takedowns or clinch or whatever. Just be well-rounded. I mean, as you can see yourself, I'm beating grapplers in the grappling department against Dewey Harrison at the start of the fight. He's a very good striker. I was kind of bringing it to him in striking wise before I started to get a bit wild and loose, but when I was at the start and well composed, I feel like I was holding my own in that fight as well, striking wise. So that's what I want to do. I want to be strikers striking, grapplers grappling, and yeah, not many people can do that. Not many people can say that they can do it, especially never training any of it before. So
And in like less than 2 years.
yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I just want to cause up a storm in the division. That's it. And I feel like I am doing that. People are starting to take notice, and that's all I can ask for. Let my fighting do the talking. Don't need to go and do all the trash talking or this, that. My fighting does the talking for me.
Yeah, and it will do. And obviously, you're going to be at the next 2 fights, so we'll get links out for the
Yeah.
2 fights when they're
Yeah,
coming. If
yeah.
you want tickets as well, talk to Jess. We'll organise that. So I want to thank you so much for your time. It's been an
Thank you.
absolute pleasure talking to you again.
You too. Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you compete again.
Thank you.